to ESPN.
How you guys doing?
We're great, and especially now. How are you doing, and how is your transition both to our fair city of Green Bay and to the Green Bay Packers and their offense?
It's been good. You know, obviously it's a work in progress for me. I mean, these guys are they're at full tilt. These guys have been in the same system and working it for quite a while. So I'm learning a lot from TJ and Josh, and they're doing a great job of helping me out and putting me on what needs to be done, and I think I'm putting it together pretty good, though.
Jeff, a rube like me, a commoner, looks at the Packers offense and the Colts offense, and I see an offense where, obviously with the Colts it was mostly no huddle, but where Aaron Rodgers does a lot of checkdowns, where you come out a lot of 3 and 4 wide, where you use the tight ends, where you move the ball up and down the field passing the football. How many similarities are there between the Colts offense and the offense the Packers run?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the tempo and what you're trying to get accomplished, there's probably a lot of similarities. But the verbiage and the way the style that it's done, the philosophy of the offenses are completely different. So that there's nothing really transferable from one to the other. The way the Packers run their offense has been extremely effective here in the past few years. I look forward to jumping in, man, and contributing as much as I can.
Jeff, how challenging is it to make that transition, though? I mean, everyone talks about, guys that have been with a team for a really long time. I think a lot of us incorrectly assumed that, well, Peyton went to Denver, so is Jeff Saturday. What brought you to Green Bay? Was it the exciting dinner that you guys had with a bunch of coaches who aren't used to wining and dining free agents? What made this happen?
I tell people all the time that was probably the most awkward recruiting visit I've ever had. You kind of sit around after 20 years since I've been recruited and get talked to. I finally just say, hey, look, man, let's just have dinner. We're all grown men here. I'm gonna make the decision based on what's best for my family and my career, and this was the best fit. It's got a great Midwestern feel to it. My family has been in Indy for the last 13 years, so the commute and the transition for them is much easier than moving halfway across the country. So and then obviously when I came and met with Campy, the offensive line coach, we speak the same language, and I have a lot of respect for him and what he's done with this offensive line. And obviously you look at Aaron Rodgers and what he's done, and you go through the list. This team is ready and ready to win, and I was excited about the opportunity that they wanted me. And truthfully, they were the first visit that I scheduled for a reason. I mean, I had put them in order and of what I thought was going to be my final decision, and it worked out that way. I really appreciated Coach McCarthy and all the conversations we had, and they're just all real guys, and that's what you want from a player's perspective. I just want people to be honest. Let's talk about what we're really trying to get accomplished here, and then let's go accomplish the mission.
New Packers center Jeff Saturday joining us on Green and Gold today, 540 ESPN, ESPNWisconsin.com. And I don't know if it played a factor at all, but as a guy that's played the majority of his home games in a dome, or all of his home games in a dome throughout his pro career, and a guy that went to North Carolina and played down in the ACC, I mean, did the elements play any factor? Did it even pop into your head about what the weather's like up here in November and December?
Nah, as a football guy, man, when you get out on Sundays, it's the elements don't really affect you very much. Your mind's so focused on trying to get the job done. Obviously, I mean, a significant factor for me was just the tradition of Green Bay. I mean, this is an incredible city. Even just the month or so I've been here, this is football country. I mean, you go anywhere and everybody's got their Packers stuff, and that's fun to be around. It's exciting to be around a community that's so involved with the team, and I've been excited about just the tradition that you get to play under. You look up in those rafters, there's a ton of names that signify what football is all about, and that's fun to play with.
Jeff, before we let our interview go off the rails with a couple of questions, I have a serious question for you. You signed a 2-year deal. I still think it's crazy that I'm going to call you an old guy because I'm 40 and you're 37, and in your career, you're coming toward the end. When you sign a 2-year deal, do you think you're going to play both those years? I mean, or do you kind of take it 1 year at a time? What's your mentality there?
No, you take it 1 year at a time. I mean, the way that we all talked about it was, we'll evaluate it, see how it goes this year, play and see how the team does, how I do, and see what the fit is like. It's exactly like you said. I mean, at this point in your career, I've done everything you can do in the football career. So there's not, I want to come here and win games, and I want to have fun doing it. And I want to be healthy, and I want my body to be healthy, and when I do finally walk away from the game. And so there's a lot of variables that play into it. The Packers are obviously very good to me and doing the 2-year deal, but there's no risk at the end of year one if either of us decide to walk away. I'm not penalizing the team nor vice versa. And so, like I said, when you sit down with people and talk about it, and you lay everything out on the table at the very beginning of negotiations. There's not going to be any hard feelings because everybody knows what the expectations are, and my expectations are come out. Help this offense move along, and if there's guys behind me that they're excited about, help get those guys prepared to play a long NFL career.
Now the biggest question. Aaron Rodgers did an interview earlier this week or last week talking about his ideal qualities in a center. I don't know if you've seen this.
No, I have not.
But apparently the most important qualities, and you rank very well on both, are butt height, that your butt is in just the right place, and you're not a profuse sweater. Are these really that important for a center?
Absolutely. They are definitely important. You don't know how many guys, I mean, this is 14 for me. You don't know how many centers I've seen have to change clothes in the middle of a practice or at halftime because the quarterback's just ticked off and change his pants. I can't even get the ball, I mean, it's always something, man. So, when you're dealing with QBs, those guys, they have a very specific way of doing things. So they like those kind of things. The butt height I've heard a bunch. Whenever you go and play with different quarterbacks, they don't want to have to squat down to receive the snap. But the sweating, man, that's just a God-given gift, that I've been blessed with.
You come to a place now where the expectations are as high as they can possibly get, and that was what you were used to most of your pro career in Indianapolis. How difficult was last year? And I'm not going to try and assume what the expectations were, but obviously once Peyton went down, it was different. How difficult was that?
It was brutal. When you've been in a system that you've won 12 games a year pretty much, every year that I played. A down year was winning 10. And you knew when we lost Peyton, we didn't have the system in place to be able to put somebody in and just keep everything going. Everything was predicated around him, and so it was a difficult year. And for somebody like me, you're bringing in new players. We had drafted 2 new offensive linemen super high, and so you're trying to teach guys how to win. What effort it takes to prepare mentally. How do you get prepared each and every week? It was tough. I've never been in a losing situation like that. It was a miserable year.
Jeff, I know you've got to go. Thanks a lot for making time for us. We really appreciate it. I look forward to meeting you in person when OTAs kick off.
Me too. You guys have a great one.
All right, Jeff. Thank you.
That's Packers center Jeff Saturday.